The inhabitants of the city have other needs than merely being chauffeured around. The city needs cargo for commercial and industrial operations, as these allow the city to grow even more. Time to boost the economy.
Hi guys, Squirrel here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. This is the second video in this kind of early access look at Transport Fever. In the first one, we kind of covered the basics and then also looked at passenger movement. In this one, we're going to look at transporting goods. This is the goods transport tutorial, which we're going to work through today. So let's click on start and get going.
Create jobs and shopping facilities. Become the region's economic driving force. There's a whole range of goods. 6 of them are so-called end products that can be delivered to the city.
Right, so there are 6 goods that can be delivered to the city. Let's click on OK.
Businesses that produce cargo for final consumption in the city are located outside of the cities. Here's a factory that manufactures construction material, for example. Construction material is one of the end products used by the city, and they require the raw material stone for their production.
Okay, so what you've got here is an input of stone or slag will produce construction material, and then the construction material is demanded by the city. What you can do is you can click on the city name. Where is the city name? Okay, the city doesn't have a name in this tutorial. Normally the city has a name, and you click on the city name and it will tell you what its needs are, but it's not showing you that. But it always needs construction material, it always needs food, and it always needs fuel. They're the 3 primary things that a city needs. But let's carry on.
Stone is mined in a quarry. The quarry doesn't need any goods to function, and thus forms the start of the production chain. The quarry has already begun producing stone and is depositing the cargo in its outbound warehouse. Your aim is to deliver these goods to the construction material factory.
Right, so as it says, this is the start of production chain. This is stone. We're going to move the stone over to that factory there, where they're going to transform it into construction material, and then we're going to move the construction material into the city. That will provide it with some of the things it needs. That will help it to grow. That's essentially what we're doing.
The quarry needs customers. Ensure that the stone it produces finds its way to the construction material factory. After all, there's always a demand for construction material in a growing city. Build freight stations in the red and green areas.
Right, so we're going to go ahead and drop a freight station down here. Let's rotate it around. Again, you need to be wary of the catchment area. If I was to sort of build it down here, you can see that's not in the catchment area of the quarry, but that one is. So always be aware of when you put it down to make sure you're catching what you need. I'm just going to put it, let's put it like that, and we'll go straight through the forest. So make sure you build a freight terminal rather than a passenger terminal. That's the other thing to watch out for. Also, you can, if you want to, you can, oh, it won't let me do the road. You can build a bit of road off here and then sort of lay things out how you want, but it's disabled in the tutorial, so we'll just do it this way. So again, just make sure we've got catchment, and then we'll lay it down like that.
The stations have been constructed. Now there's nothing standing in the way of those rolling stones, except perhaps some uneven terrain. Nothing that money can't solve, but it still pays to plan the line carefully. Connect the freight stations with tracks.
So we're going to connect these 2 things with tracks. First thing I'm going to do is put on the contour line so we can see, you know, roughly what the hills are, and then we can try and work around them. There's a bit of a contour line through here, just going right in there somewhere. So I think we should be pretty good. It's pretty level ground, to be fair. So what we're going to do is go straight past this city. Don't want to get too close to it, just in case we want to expand it later. But we'll build it like that. And connect it up.
Soon we'll be able to send the stone on its way. Luckily, a stone is much less demanding than a commuter. Create a line and add the freight stations.
Now, in the first video, I was telling you how it will take out valleys for you if you're going through terrain that's lower down. Equally, this is higher ground, so what's happening here is it's raised up the terrain to keep the track nice and level, which is actually makes for a realistic looking track. I quite like that. Right, let's create ourselves a line. So we click new line, same as before. Click this station here, up at Innsbruck, and then we'll click this station here.
Now
Innsbruck
we need a freight
East.
train. Next, build a depot. Depots are needed to buy vehicles. Select the train depot from the construction menu and build it in the area highlighted in yellow.
So drop our depot in like this. We'll drop it a bit further back.
Now you need a train that can deliver the stones from the quarry to the factory. Click on the depot and select Buy Train, and buy a locomotive with an additional 5 open cars. Make sure that the cars can transport stones.
Right, so I've joined up the track there, just making sure that those things are linked in correctly. Click on this, click on Buy Train. We'll look at locomotives. We'll take one of the Scotsmans again. We'll buy that. We'll look at wagons, and we need something with the move stone. This is passengers, coal, iron ore, stone, grain, and slag. Livestock, plastic, machine tools, foods, and grain. So that one's no good for us. We're going to have to use these guys. It's hard to know how many we need, but let's go for, it says 5 open cars.
Let the journey begin. Assign the train to the line. Outstanding. The train is on its way to pick up its first load of stone. In the meantime, you can click on the quarry and the construction material factory to learn more about production.
Okay, so it's now on its way. Annoyingly, it's going to go here first because I think the line specifies to go here first. So we'll just let it do that. It doesn't make a big difference because it's going to take a bit of time for this to start putting stone into here. What you can see here is the quarry is exporting its stone outside. This is its kind of local warehouse here. What you can see on our platform is no stone whatsoever. The reason is because this quarry doesn't know that there's anything here that's going to take away stone. The only way it knows is when the train comes in and stops and it has cars on the back which have stone capability. At that point, the quarry will go, oh, hang on a minute. There's a train here that's visiting that can move stone. I'll start to put some stone on there and see if it gets taken away. Sure enough, if you then take away your stone, then that's exactly what's going to happen. It's all going to start flowing from here into here. The more you take it away, the more it will try and move it into there. So if you can bring in a nice regular service, then it will be very, very happy. Let's turn those contour lines off because they're causing weird graphical displays. Equally over here, when we start to bring stone in, you'll see the stone come in and then it will sit in one pile and then be converted into goods in this pile. So we'll just speed things up a bit, get the train moving. Okay, so there goes the first visit. So what should start to happen now is, if I click on this, there you go. You see down this end here? So because a stone train has actually turned up, the quarry realizes there's a possibility to move some stone.
The first delivery of stone has reached the factory. The factory will now process the stone into construction materials. Stones are taken from the inbound warehouse and deposited in the outbound warehouse as construction material.
Okay, so with this little window here, we can see that the train just arrived and there's now some stone on it. And then we'll watch as this thing comes in. You can actually see it from a long way away. Look at that. Just the plumes of smoke. But you'll see what happens now. There you go. So the stone gets lined up. The factory then starts converting it.
The factory's warehouse is filling up. Set up a truck line into the city to transport the construction materials.
Okay, so it actually put it here.
Of the colored areas.
It moved the stone and put the goods here. I thought it was going to move it from there to there, but it didn't. This must be the in, and this is the out. Now, what it's telling us to do now is to basically move the goods, these goods, into the city via trucks, which is fair enough. So what we'll do is we'll build a large truck station, apparently, which is this guy. And again, just make sure that it's getting in the catchment of this particular building here, which is fine. That will do nicely. And it says, build a truck station. What else does it want us to do? Oh, it builds another one over here. Okay. A large truck station can go here as well. It's not going to look terribly pretty, but it'll do the job.
All that's missing now is a suitable road vehicle for transportation into the city. Next, build a depot. Depots are needed to buy. Almost there. The economic miracle is close at hand. Just a couple more logistical wrinkles to iron out, and the city will be supplied with construction material. Click on the depot, select Buy Road Vehicle, and buy a truck.
We're just going to make sure that the truck we're buying can actually take the goods we want. So this takes construction materials. It's the fastest thing I can buy, so let's buy one of those.
The truck now needs to be assigned to a line. You can set up the line as before via the line manager. And then, congratulations! The city will soon receive its first cargo delivery. Let the boom begin.
He gets very excited. So there you go. We've now set up the line. He should now start moving goods from here. Again, this will start to realize that there's a demand for construction materials, and it will start to move it. There you go. It will start to move it into this particular depot. So that is now being moved to here, which is now being taken away to the other place. When it gets dropped off there, the city will consume it, and then it will expand the city. Now, if we go to here, buy road vehicles. There is a way that you can duplicate these guys. I did see it once. Reverse, go to depot, set line, details. The other thing you can do is look at the financial costs of a particular vehicle. So, for example, if we click on the train and then click finances, you can see the income. Because this is tutorial, there's no running costs, but you'll be able to compare the running costs against the actual profit and work out whether this vehicle is making you money or not, which is very, very useful. I'm sure there's a way of duplicating these guys. Maybe you can't do it in the tutorial. Buy road vehicles. Just buy another one. But I did see it. You can just click duplicate somewhere. Or buy another one. Okay. So I click set line all, which means any vehicle that gets made here is automatically going to get assigned to this line, which is both useful and can catch you out, you know, because if you go and create yourself a bus here, it'll chuck it onto that line, which is not terribly useful. Right, so if you click on that, you can see what's going on now. Production is 40, the limit is 40, so you know, it's not at capacity yet, but the stone that's being brought here is got this thing to near capacity. Like, if you kept bringing in loads and loads of stone, this thing has a finite amount to the amount that it can convert. Any more than that, and it'll just start to pile up. That's now being moved over here. There's nothing here. I can't click on the city. It's really annoying. Normally you can click on the city name and it will show you how the demand's being taken care of, but I can't do that in this one. Speed it up. So he's got 10 construction materials out of 11. He's on his way here. As a bonus task, you can ensure that at least 10% of the city's demand and construction materials is satisfied. Do you know what? I just realised that the city names weren't on because I'd accidentally clicked that, which turned off the city names. If you click on the city name now, you can see what's going on here. It should start to receive demand for this thing. Construction materials. There it is, 21%. So if you can bring in construction materials, machines, and fuel, then what will happen is it will result in an increase in jobs, which will then lead to more people moving in, more houses being built, and then obviously they'll want to work in places like shopping facilities. They want to go and buy, so there'll be a demand for this stuff. It will grow the industrial or the commercial areas, and both will lead to more people moving in, and the population will grow. So by feeding the city, you effectively grow the city, which is going to create more supply and demand, and then you're going to have to solve those problems and move things around. But that was that tutorial. Let's now move on and look at something else. Right, so back on the main menu, the tutorials are here, but you can see there's only 3 tutorials in this current kind of early access edition, so I can't show you any more tutorials. There's a campaign mode.
America, the land of opportunity. Demonstrate your talent and rise to become the most powerful transport company in the most powerful country in the world.
He's so excited. America! And then you've got Europe.
The old continent is constantly yielding great new inventions. Be part of this rapid technological progress and found numerous thriving transport companies in Europe.
So there's 7 missions in this one, 7 in this one, and then there's a free game mode where you can choose Europe or USA. World size, small, medium, and large. You can see the layout here. Terrain type, the start year, 1850, 1900, 1950, so you can kind of customize where you want to begin. And then the difficulty, easy, medium, hard. I'm guessing this feeds into the pricing structures, the finances, I would have thought. And there's a random seed value you can put into there. So if we go back, let's do one of the campaigns and we'll show you that one. So let's go for
America, the land of
first
opportunity.
campaign, Wild
Steel,
West.
The future lies in the West. We will bring progress to this barren swath of land full of simple-minded country bumpkins and savage natives. But transporting the required goods is painstaking and expensive. A railroad from east to west, now that would be a real gold mine. But the competition never sleeps. The Central Pacific Railroad has already started construction on a line from the Pacific. Let's beat them to it and open up the Wild West.
Open up the Wild West.
Welcome to the Wild West. It is the year 1864, and we find ourselves in the tranquil settlement of Cheyenne, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. The tracks from the east end here. Our job, to construct a railroad line to the west. The first transcontinental railroad in the whole of America. The investors have given us a rather modest sum of money, but that'll have to do if we don't want to scare them off. If the competition carries on working at the current pace, they're expected to reach the goal before us. Let's spare ourselves this disgrace and get started.
So this scenario is about constructing a railroad from Cheyenne, which is here in the east, all the way to the west there. So it's quite a big map, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be an interesting campaign to do. So let's click start.
If we want to beat the competition to the goal, we'll need more workers, and workers need feeding. Once the men are half full, this business with food could generate some extra income for us.
Right, so it says, if, deliver grain from Cheyenne Farm to Cheyenne, that's German. I think there's a translation has been lost there. Cheyenne Farm, where's Cheyenne Farm? This must be Cheyenne Farm here. Yep, so we want to get from the farm to Cheyenne itself, which is here. That accepts grain. There appears to be a kind of a dirt track there, so I think what we'll do is we shall construct a truck station right next to this guy, like that. So we'll capture his goods. Terrain alignment collision. Okay. We're colliding with something. I can't see what, though. I think he must have a plot of land there, so we'll put it here. It's fine. We'll put it there. We need a depot so we can start building some vehicles. So we'll kind of just put that next to it, like that. Let's build a road vehicle. Oh, horse carriage or a horse wagon. That takes passengers. This takes goods. So we'll take this one. We'll buy one of these guys, 13,000. We'll give him a new line from here to... Oh, that's no good. I need to put a depot down there as well. Not a depot, a goods station. So if we put it there like that. Line 1 needs to have a station added. Right, so line 1 is there, and then he's now on line 1. I'm guessing we're going to need more than one guy to move this stuff. Where is he? Wow. Look at that. Just look at the state. I tell you what, the audio is quite nice. So he's going to carry on. He'll have nothing to move at the moment because, like I say, it'll take a bit of time for this thing to start producing goods and moving it into here. But it should start to punt it in there pretty soon. We'll speed up time now. And hopefully goods will start to accumulate. There was a question mark over here.
It is rumored that a huge nugget of gold is buried somewhere in the wasteland before us. The first settlers are said to have buried it somewhere out in no man's land, while on the run from gunslingers. An aging saloon girl in Laramie knows more.
An aging saloon girl in Laramie. Okay. Yeah, there you go. You see it? So there's goods accumulating. So what we're going to do is going to buy another one of these guys. And then we'll assign him onto the same road. Same line, I should say. How much is there now? 7. So he's going to come in and take 4. He's going to take 4. That's good. That was perfect timing. Where was that? Deliver a grain and mysterious gold nuggets. Laramie. Let's find Laramie. There's Laramie. Okay.
The huge nugget is buried in the desert, says the lady in the saloon. That is, of course, incredibly vague. However, she also seems to think that the Indians might have already found the nugget and then reburied it, as in their minds, gold cannot be eaten.
Gold can't be eaten.
A small Indian boy who was evidently better disposed towards us than his fathers has whispered the following to one of our people. In the mountain that the sun kisses goodnight, and where the shadow of the great tree pierces the heavy rock, you will find nothing that can be eaten. What is that supposed to mean?
Use a terrain tool and dig for the gold nugget in the right location. So that's the mountain, apparently. The small Indian boy who is evidently better disposed says, in the mountain that the sun kisses goodnight and where the shadow of the great tree pierces the heavy rock, you will find nothing that can be eaten. So in other words, you'll find the gold nugget. So, it kind of looks obviously like that one, right? The great tree. It's not really a great tree. It's no bigger than these guys, really. In the mountain that kisses goodnight, where the shadow of the great tree pierces the heavy rock. Well, that seems to pierce the heavy rock. So what do? You will find nothing that can be eaten. Use a terrain tool and dig for the gold nugget in the right location. Terrain tool. Raise terrain, lower terrain, smooth terrain. Wow, asset brush. I haven't even played with any of this stuff. Good grief. Smooth terrain, raise, lower. I can't do anything with it anyway. Okay. That's a bit confusing. Not really sure what we're supposed to do there. Use a terrain tool and dig for the gold nuggets in the right location. Well, we're definitely in the right location. Terrain. I mean, it won't physically let me do it. Okay, we'll ignore that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's see how we're getting on over here. Wow, that's a lot of goods. Oh my god, 32. Let's just go with 4. Let's have a look at the running cost of these guys. Okay, so he's making more than double what he's costing, so that's a good thing. Connect Cheyenne and Laramie. Cheyenne and Laramie. Okay, so our next objective is to connect Cheyenne and Laramie. Be sensible to choose a route that avoids costly blasting operations to build tunnels. Build a line. Build a passenger station in Laramie and connect it to the existing route with tracks. A valley connects Cheyenne and Laramie near the farm. So there's blatantly a valley here. So if we put the contours on, we can see that if we can follow the road, usually it's a good idea to follow the road as closely as possible. And then we're going to come over to here. The question is, where do we put the actual station? What's that for? Laramie Werkzeugschuppen. That's not very American. Well, the problem is if we want it on this side, we'd have to build along here, which would then create problems with the track when it comes through there, because it has to come through the farm. Because I think we don't want to go through here, do we? So we're going to have to go along there, I guess, and then join the road. But we're on the left side of the road, go over the water, and kind of come into here somewhere. I guess. Well, we are trying to go in that direction, aren't we? So we need to bear that in mind. So maybe we'll just come across and then cut over the road there. So we'll put one here. Passenger train station, that'll do. We'll put that there and we're going to catch everybody if we do that. Okay, this is going to get expensive. So first thing I'm going to do is go across there like that. 145 grand. That's taking a big gouge out the valley. Look at that. That is expensive. Oh my god. There you go. That's only 200 if we go that way. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we could do about that. That's a big chunk of ground that had to be excavated. But if we follow the road... Now it's only 20k. Build it around like that. That got elevated, so it got a bit expensive. Now we need to go in this direction, so we're going to have to gouge out a bit of the countryside, unfortunately. And then...
Wonderful. This one leg completed already. However, we're already encountering our first difficulties. It was very good of the government to place this land at our disposal free of charge. If it weren't for those damned Indians. They've pitched their tents right in the middle of our planned route. Our scouts seem to think they're rather displeased with the white man and his iron horse, and that's us.
Let's click on
Those
that.
damned Indians. They're sabotaging our work and are said to have physically attacked some of our men. We need to do something. We have various options. Either we buy them a piece of land of equivalent value, which could get pretty costly, or we could settle it the old-fashioned way, which would probably cost us our good reputation in certain circles. Or else we could try to bribe them with firewater, although its consumption is known to make one rather aggressive.
All right. Oust the Indians with violence. Buy an exchange. That's not going to happen. Bribe the Indians with firewater. How much is that? 10 grand. Or violence. All right. We spent 10 grand and non-violently moved them, I guess. That's fine. I guess we need to get a passenger link going here, so let's build a depot. We're going to need a train depot to get a little passenger run going. Let's put that here. And we'll just build a single track going in. It says connect Laramie to Rawlins. It actually doesn't say build a train line, but I assume that's what we've got to do. Build a passenger station, connect it with the existing route. You see, it doesn't actually say choose a route that avoids cost, build a passenger station and connect it with the existing routes. It doesn't actually say build a train line. So let's not do that. Right, connect Laramie and Rawlins. Where's Rawlins? There's Rawlins. We've got a bit of a hill through there, but that's fine. What we'll do is we'll kind of go around it that way. And then because we bribed the Indians, we're going to put a track right past their house. Before we build anything else, let's actually go and have a look here where the best place is to build a station. Let's turn that on. So the residence is on this side. Not sure if we're going to end up using that guy or not. Rawlins Mine. Let's cut through there maybe. Let's build a station that goes, let's see, train depot, passenger station, train station. Let's go here. Narrow angle. Oh, I see. Okay. We may have to build a little path first. Let's build a little piece of road. Let's build a small street that brings the road to... No, not that. Not like that. 8K road, and then we'll drop that in there. Wow, the catchment's on that. Look at it. 2 houses. Blimey. Where are you supposed to build it then? I guess you could build it here and drive past that guy's house, maybe. Bulldoze that back down. Let's try building like that. There you go, that's a better catchment. Too much curvature. That's fine. Hopefully it'll let us build track over this. Yay! Beautiful. Right, where's my track? There it is. Contour can go back on. This is costing a lot of money. Not gonna lie. Right.
The problem with the Indians has been settled, but we've already encountered our next challenge. Before us lie miles and miles of nothing but bone-dry steppe. We'll need to make sure we don't run out of water. However, there should be iron ore deposits that we can exploit to earn a bit of extra money and to produce tools.
Iron ore deposits. What's this saying then? Build a line between Rawlins and Evanston. Take the route past at least 3 wells. These must be the wells here. Build a passenger station in Evanston and connect its existing route with track. Again, I keep coming back to this. It's not actually told me to build a train yet. I don't know if we're supposed to just build one anyway. Wait, what's the capacity of this thing? Okay, that's at its consumption limit. So there's actually no point in trying to move more of this. Look at all that. What a scandal. There's 111 piled up and this guy can only cope with 50. How annoying is that? But if we try to move passengers, is it going to be profitable? I don't know. I guess we should build one. Buy a train. Let's see what we got. I'm probably going to regret this. 40 kilometers per hour. How much does that cost? 172 grand, 28 per year. 352 per year. But he does an extra 5 kilometers. That's not worth it, is it? Let's go for the cheap option. Let's buy him. And we'll put just like a couple of cars on the back. We'll assign him to go from here to here. Blimey. Is it going to be profitable to drive all this way? Here, and then back to here, like that, and then back to the beginning. Right, we better keep our eye on the finances there. There he goes. He's probably got nobody on board. Now that spent the best part of $1 million, I think. Well, it's about 600 grand, I think it was. But he's on his way now. Maybe there'll be passengers start to accumulate at some point. I mean, it's got pretty good catchment, so in theory it should move people around. But if we don't get any paying passengers, I'm just going to have to ditch the train. Right, build a station from Evanston and connect it to existing tracks. The wells are marked with green circles. Where's Evanston? Where are we going? There we're going. Evanston. This has got a big hill around it. Let's think. So if we kind of go through... I'm going to ignore that one. 3 wells we have to do. Set up a line so the town residents use your vehicles. First passenger waiting. Set up a line to the first... Oh, it wants a bus line. Really? We have to create a bus line as well? Can't they just walk? I mean, seriously, look how far it is. How lazy can you be? Oh my god. I can't believe that. Okay, well let's build a bus or a tram stop. So we'll build one here, and we'll build one here, I guess. And just move people up and down the street. I mean, this just doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right at all. Okay, passenger vehicle. You can go on a new line from here to here. Take all the lazy people. I mean, seriously, that's like a 5-minute walk. I guess the same is true for these guys then. Well, there are 3 people waiting though. Let's see how that one gets on. If that one starts to make some money, we'll do the same over here. Are you still making money, pal? Yeah, profit's doing well, although profit's starting to come down a bit. I think we might have reached saturation point here. But they're bringing money in, that's the main thing. How's the train doing? That's the question. Has he actually got anybody on board yet? Oh, it's got 6 passengers. Let's see how much he gets paid. Because they're transporting a long way. I remember in Transport Tycoon, it used to have... It had these kind of charts, like passengers had to be moved around quickly. Like they paid to be moved quickly, whereas goods, it didn't matter how long it took. And so if you transported the passengers a long way quickly, it would maximize the money. So in theory, transporting 6 people this kind of distance should pay pretty well, but we'll see. Right now, he's on a massive negative loss. Wow. Just wow. Oh my god. Look at the running costs compared to how much money he just made. Well, I'm telling you now, if that doesn't change quickly, I'm just going to sack the whole train. Because that is going to eat into the money something nasty. Dear me. Why does it cost so much money? 120 per year. Per year? Look at the days ticking by. Why is it taking 4 days to go down that bit of track? That just seems a bit strange. Yeah, we may have to just sack this train off. In all honesty. Well, I think that guy's making a bit of money. But not compared to his costs. Let's give him a bit more time. I'm beginning to think I shouldn't have built this train. Yeah, he just brought in 40k. Which more or less paid for himself. Let's just leave it. Let me just leave it another year and see if he actually starts to turn a profit. It may get better. But there's only 5 people waiting here. I don't know. Let's carry on with construction. We're going to go past some wells. We'll click on this. We're going to go... Let's make a turn there like that. We'll go through there. Go down to this one. We're going to go that way. Actually, hang on. Contours. What's that collision? You know what? Running out of money massively here. Right, so we've more than picked up 3. We've done 4, so we're good for the wells. Now, if we're going to carry on... We're going to carry on through there. I'm guessing we're going to be following that road, so... As we go through that valley, it gets a bit hilly here, so we probably want to stay close to this town. Maybe here. Yeah, that looks like a good spot. Let's build a train station... right there somewhere. Too much curvature. Let's get it lined up. There we go. 600 grand left. This is not a good situation.
The workers are refusing to lift a finger. They're claiming that they haven't been paid for months. No idea whether that's right, but we're pretty short on money, and it's only a matter of time before the investors pull the plug on funding us. We could put off paying our guys until next month and promise them double wages in return. Or there's another alternative over in Ogden.
Another alternative in Ogden? That sounds interesting. Where's Ogden? There's Ogden. What's the alternative?
Pious, hardworking people live in Ogden who outright refuse to accept the progress of civilization. They would work for us for almost nothing. In return, we only need to help them build a new bridge so that they can get their harvest across the river to the village.
Well, how much does a bridge cost? What do they want? A bridge here? What do they want? Just this? 66 grand? Hang on, how much was it to end the strike? 100.
Good. Finally, it's back to work.
Cool.
Unfortunately, our tools are worn out and dreadfully inefficient. We should have our men make new ones. There's an abundance of iron ore in the area. This will save us money and we'll make faster progress. Unfortunately, drunken Indians keep getting in our way. As they keep smashing everything, we have to produce more tools than planned.
Drunken Indians keep getting in the way? Ah, is that the side effect of paying them off with firewater? Oh my god. Cause and effect right there. Yeah, this train's going to have to go, I'm afraid. That is just not paying the bills. Look at that. We need to send him back to the depot, I think. 10 passengers on board. We need to get rid of him. That's no good. Let me slow that down. But yeah, we've got another thing to do here. But the video's getting quite long, so I'm going to cut it there. We're going to carry on with this in the next video. We'll continue and finish this particular scenario off. Hope you're enjoying this little playthrough of Transport Fever pre-release. Until the next one, guys, take care. Happy transporting.